Check, check. All right, here we go. We're going to get started today. Thank you for being here. Get settled, get started. Don't feel bad about having coffee. The pastor has coffee, so you can have coffee. So welcome one, welcome all. This is our annual meeting. We're going to get started. Let's call our meeting to order here. Thank you guys for being here. Welcome to those watching on the stream as well. I want to begin with a short reflection today from 2 Kings. This is a passage that we've looked at with our men's Bible studies going through 2 Kings. And this is actually about replacing a position. So we have had there's a few positions as we think about our nominating positions that are coming up here. A few positions that are vacant right now. And so this is about that. This is about Elijah and Elisha, who's going to replace Elijah. Many of you may be familiar with Elijah being taken up to heaven by chariots. So this is actually right after that. This is 2 Kings chapter 2, starting with verse 15. It says this: "The company of the prophets from Jericho were watching, and they said, 'The spirit of Elijah is resting on Elisha.' And they went to meet him and bowed to the ground before him. 'Look,' they said, 'we, your servants, have 50 able men. Let them go and look for your master. Perhaps the Spirit of the Lord has picked him up and set him down on some mountain or in some valley.'" This is their kind of response to seeing Elijah taken away. They kind of say, "Hey, let's go look for him." But Elisha replied, "No, do not send them." But they persisted until he was too ashamed to refuse. So he said, "Send them." And they sent 50 men who searched for 3 days, but they did not find him. When they returned to Elisha, who was staying in Jericho, he said to them, "Didn't I tell you not to go?" And I love that because it feels like exactly what I would have said, which is that I told you not to go. You insisted on going. You went and came back empty-handed, just like I said you would, so I told you so. And that's kind of Elisha's response there, which is kind of funny to me because it shows the human aspect of what's going on here. But they have this response, verse 19. "Then the men of the city said to Elijah, 'Look, our Lord, this town is well situated as you can see, but the water is bad and the land is unproductive. Bring me a new bowl,' he said, 'and put salt in it.' So they brought it to him. Then he went out to the spring and he threw the salt into it, saying, 'This is what the Lord says, I have healed this water. Never again will it cause death or make the land unproductive. And the water has remained wholesome to this day, according to the word Elisha had spoken.'" And so Elisha performs a miracle. He cleanses this water that had been perpetually bad. And that was basically God's way of saying Elisha is now the replacement for Elijah. Elijah's gone. Now Elisha's here, and he's in his place. He can perform miracles just like Elijah did. And it's neat to think about how God provided for the needs of the people by raising up a new leader after Elijah was gone. And I do believe God still does that today in the church. He's going to raise up new people. But right now, at least in our context, we feel maybe there's a little bit of a lack of replacements for some of our positions. But that's okay. We are people of prayer, and we do believe God will provide that in his time. And so we are praying for some of that, particularly with elders and trustees. And so we may not have our answer today or immediately, but we do want to trust God that he will provide for what's necessary. So let's turn to him in prayer. God, we thank you for this day, a chance to meet together and think about these things that matter to the church and your church. We are your church, and we do pray for your kingdom to come and your will be done, and we trust that you will provide the people that are willing to come and serve in these various capacities in our church so that we can be a church that is on mission for you and bringing your kingdom to bear on this community. So we bless our time now as we gather together. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, so you can see there, if you didn't get a packet, please grab one or share with somebody nearby. The agenda just there on the front. We'll go through each person. Various committees will come forward and present their report, and then we'll do nominations at the end. Do I have a motion to accept the agenda as you see it there on the front? So moved. Second? Second. All right, any discussion? All right, has been accepted. Good. And so with that, we're going to turn then to Diane, and I'll just turn it over to you, and you can share what you want. Would you come up here though? We do have some people watching on the live stream, so we want to be able to them to see you and hear you. Did you not hear me?
I can speak rather loudly anyway, so. Yes. Okay, these are the minutes for October last year's annual meeting. And I have a confession to make. I lost my notes for the last year's meeting. So Domini and I put our heads together and we got input from other people using last year's agenda. And praying a lot. I owe God my memory, basically. Anyway, Salem Lutheran Brothers' annual congregational meeting was called to order by Pastor Ty Rosvet with a reflection on Hebrews 11, verses 13 through 16. This was followed by a prayer for God's guidance. Diane Opp read the minutes from last year's congregational meeting. The minutes were accepted as read. Marvot presented the fiscal year-end treasurer's report. After an explanation by Mr. Ott and a discussion, this too was accepted. Pastor Rosvet reported on the church's ministries, his progress toward ordination, and the effects of COVID-19 on our church. The church has a new mission statement. The new mission statement of Salem Lutheran Brethren Church is to proclaim the gospel so that people are drawn to Jesus, devoted to him, and discipled by one another. 4 new members have been added to our membership rolls. They are Ron Melius, Roy and Levon Johnson, and Andrew Greniger. Pastor Rosvet updated the congregation on the progress of the building committee as well. Sunday school superintendent Sheila Rosvet reported on the activities of the church's Board of Education, as well as those of the Sunday school. Dylan and Annika McCulley, Kira Hernesman, Isaac Greniger, Paige Jacobson, and Wyatt Simonson were confirmed in August. Brenda Simonson, co-chair of Salem's WMF, reported on the group's activities. These included the Cup of Blessing, February and March, the Women's Weekly Bible Study, often held outside due to COVID-19, the distribution of breads and muffins for Valentine's Day, the annual Rummage and Bake Sale, and the Trunk or Treat outreach on Halloween. This year's Trunk or Treat will be held exclusively outside on the 31st of October. This is also due to COVID. For the same reason, the fundraiser planned for Operation Christmas Child and the Mother-Daughter Breakfast were canceled. Marriott reported on Operation Christmas Child. She talked about the Grand Village contributions to this ministry and how each year since 2009, the number of boxes sent out by the church has increased. Diane and Domini Opp reported on the circulation of the church's library. Everett Watson was reaffirmed as an elder for the next 3 years. The slate of nominees for various church positions offered by nominating committee members Darwin and Lana Jacobson was presented. After a time for discussion had been offered, the slate was voted on and accepted as submitted by the Jacobsons. Ken Simonson has resigned from his position as a trustee. Andrew Greniger has taken his place. Pastor Rosfeld closed the meeting with prayer. Thank you.
Yep, thank you, Diane. Do we have a motion to accept those minutes? So moved, in a second. Allison seconds, and do we have any discussion? Great, thanks, Diane. Thanks for thinking on your feet and putting that together for us. Okay, next we're going to hand over to Marv. You might have noticed that there's no treasurer's report in your packet this year, and that's in part, well, Marv I'm sure will share, but we have one. It's just not included in your packet.
Good afternoon. What a wonderful meal we had. Thank you, ladies. I really first want to say we want to thank God and God's people for the blessings that we've had this year financially. And I mean that. And I appreciate very much what God has done for us, for this church this year, and for God's people to support the way they did. Can you hear that okay now, Roy? Don't be afraid. Okay, all right. Yeah, all right. Would sign language work for you? Okay. This year we started a new accounting system. And that's one of the reasons why we don't have them in the pamphlets that you have. But one of the things, the reason we did that was so that at the end of the year, we could just punch some buttons and everything would come up, and I wouldn't be sitting there for 8 hours trying to get all the different payments put together and all that. So it's been a big advantage. I've made two. Okay. So I'm going to give you some numbers about this year's from our financial report. But what I've done is I've got two booklets. I've given one to Harold. I give one to Pastor with all of the papers in it. There's a profit and loss statement in there, and there's a deposit detail for the year. And this, my figures were looked at by the auditors, and they, everything balanced out, so they were okay with it. This is really getting close to my thing. Anyway, when Harold and Pastor Ty get done with it, I encourage you and are given a place so that they can initial that they've looked at it, okay? Then I want them to share it with other people. Anybody in this congregation that would like to see what those papers look like on this QuickBooks program, all right? And if there's any questions about, what you come across, then let me know, and I'd be happy to help you. The total offerings for the period October 1st, 2020 to September 30, 2021 were $85,042. That was all the deposits. The general fund income during that time, and that's where we pay all our bills from, is the general income. For the same period last year was $77,299.78. The difference between what the 85,000 that I mentioned and the general fund income is that some of the money that's given is designated for different things: Sunday school, memorial funds, Operation Christmas Child, got some, the building fund, different things that people designate they want their money to go to instead of the general fund. This year, the board voted to support our synod. From the general fund, and we did that. So we transferred money out of the general fund for that, and it came to $2,100 that we gave to the synod. They were experiencing some problems. And I think what the board decided to do is that this year we're going to look at it and look at things that are at the synod and see if we need to modify that, reduce it or whatever, and that'll be decided by the board. The total year-to-date contributions to the synod, including missions and all of that, to date is $2,750. That includes designations that I mentioned. We also transfer money each month for our insurance fund. And this last year, it amounted to $3,098, so that comes out of the general fund. These expenses were reduced this year because of our interest from Edward Jones. We had $1,895 in interest income from Edward Jones, so that helped our income status. As you're aware, the church members voted to improve the front entrance. This was a significant project, as you all know, and we used the Edward Jones investment to cover the cost. The Lord blessed us with this investment when we sold the parsonage, and also we had $50,000 in the state bank, and we weren't getting any interest from that, so we put that into Edward Jones, and it helped we gained some better interest. The church board is looking to make additional future improvements. In the church, we still have an investment in Edward Jones, and that's right in here, $104,000 we have left. And we're looking to make some future improvements. We still have an investment in Edward Jones, and a copy showing the balance is in the folders, and when you get those, you can see them too. And also in that folder, I put the September financial report in there because we didn't have a board meeting. So I want to finally I want to just say our general fund income for October 1st, 2019 to September 30th, 2020 was $70,000 $666.48. This year it was $77,299.78. So that was quite an increase for the general fund. As I say, Harold and Pastor Ty has all the papers that he will share with you. If any questions, if not, I know we're having trouble filling positions, but one thing I want people to pray about is when your treasurer gets so old, he might need a replacement. But keep that in mind. Pray about it if you think it's something that would be you'd be interested in. But until then, I'll keep doing it. Thank you.
Do you want those booklets passed around and initialed by others?
Yes, by others, and you don't have to do it today. Yeah, it's going to take some time. It'll take some time to look through that, Harold and Pastor. There's no rush. I'm sure next Sunday, if you get through it, then give it to the next person and that's interested in it, and they can look through it. So, and everything balanced out, which is good.
Yeah.
And I had help with learning that QuickBooks. I want to say that yet, and she's still been helping me. And she said if I ever get a replacement, she'd help that person too, and she's been very good. So it's been helpful. Thank you.
All right, so that treasurer's report will kind of make its way around, and if you get a chance to look at it, you can just put and you approve of what you see there and are happy with it, then just put your initials on the accompanying sheet, and that's the way we'll kind of approve that over time. So, any other questions or comments about the treasurer's report?
Did the income show an increase of 7,000 from last year?
That's what he said, yep.
Was it more or less? I couldn't quite get it.
More.
More than 7? About 10%.
It was 7,000 more than the previous year.
Okay.
Yep.
That is quite a blessing.
Yes, yes.
I suppose the pastor's going to ask for a raise.
Yeah. Do you have a
Yeah.
question, comment? Go ahead.
We'll give him a clap of hands. How's that?
Go.
It's wonderful. Thank the
Yep,
Lord
yep.
for a tremendous increase in our budget. You know, we're a small church, and, you know, we have perhaps the best pastor for a 4 or 5 state around here,
At least.
maybe half the country. And our finances are adequate.
Yep.
We could always use more so that we can do more. We don't, I'm sure you would say, we don't keep the money. We use it to reach people for Christ.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Very good, Roy. Thank you. Beth, go ahead.
2 questions. First question, does it have to be a man who's a treasurer? I know that's not about.
Good question. The answer is no.
Second question, how long do you have to be a member? Because I haven't been a member, I just went here since I
Yeah, right. Yep, that's a great question. You do need to be a member. You do not have to be a man. So yeah, if that's on your radar, we could talk. We could have a talk about that. We're actually going to be offering our members class shortly.
Right. Because that's something I've done through area
Yeah.
when I was in AA, and that's what,
Yep.
5, no, it's like 500 groups. Marcus, but it's like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Beth. Thank you. We can be in touch about that. Yep. Very good. Okay. Ministry report. So what I'll do is I'll just we'll go one by one. I'm not going to come up in between each one of these. I'll start with the elders report, which you'll see is the second page, and you can read that on your own. But one of the things that's prompted my prayers for replacements is losing Marv as an elder from last year. Marv's been great. He's obviously still the treasurer and very much a part of the congregation, but he felt it necessary to step down, and we supported him with that. And so, yeah, we are praying for some new elders, and that's a complicated thing. It's not easy. You can't just snap your fingers and produce an elder. It takes time, and so it's going to be a prayer for a while. So I just ask that you would continue to pray for elders, for men to be elders. That is a position we call for men only, according to 1 Timothy 2 and 1 Timothy 3 and Titus 1 and everything. But so that's not anything we're going to address today or be able to replace, but just wanted to ask for your continued prayers that the Lord would lead and guide men to be willing and able to fill that position. So that's essentially my elder board report is a plea to keep that in your prayers. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Leon. You can come on forward. Yeah, oh yeah, you didn't put your makeup on today? Okay, well, go ahead and turn to the trustee report and just note there, and I guess we'll just open it up and ask if anybody has any questions. The trustees are the ones who are in charge of keeping the grounds working, running, electricity on, and fixing broken things that pop up here and there. So that's a list of everything that was done. And obviously the biggest thing was by extension was the building, the new entrance, which really wasn't technically a trustee issue because we hired it out to be done, but we were the ones who kind of gave along with the joint board, we gave the okay to have that done, and that was we're very happy with the entrance as it is. Anyway, any questions regarding the trustee report?
Well, just, I don't put every little thing down on there, like how many times you go through and change. I put the bulbs and the paint on it because we cleaned everything up downstairs, and they had to get rid of it, so they took the lease and they paint.
Yep.
Other than that, I even had to put Mark down because he is the head trustee since he's the treasurer. Oh yeah, he's taking over Harold's spot. But anyway, he did install a new cover on the air conditioning unit. So anyway,
Yep.
That's it. And another thing, and when it comes up, I am not running for trustee again. It's just been a long time. Not that I won't be around to help, but I just don't. It's
Yep.
been 15 to
Yep.
20 years.
No, we understand.
I'm tired of Diane calling me all the time. Whatever, but I'll still be here to help out. So.
Yep, thank you.
So how many trustees do we have left after if we got it?
Well, we've had three positions, so right now we have 2. Yep. Yep. Okay, Sheila.
It's really high. I'm not that tall. Can you hear me okay? Okay, so as I look at the Board of Education report, it looks kind of long-winded, which can be how I am sometimes. So what I would say about the last year is that our attendance in all educational aspects, be it Bible study, adult Sunday school, or children's Sunday school, has been like this. Just because of the variety of seasons we've been through with COVID in the last year. So we got a little creative. So when we started Sunday school last fall, it went okay, and then everything started shutting down. If you remember, in November, schools were out, a lot less people at church, and then it was the holidays. So the kids put on that Christmas is canceled video, which was kind of a fun thing to try, something new, so they could still do a Christmas program. So that will forever live in YouTube, whether the kids like that or not. So if you ever want to revisit it again, you can find it online. It's pretty cool. And I think they'll remember that forever as well. So in January, the Sunday school students were invited to participate in person or at home in the study called God Made Winter. It took place Sunday mornings, and materials were provided to families who wished to participate if they did not want to participate in person. And so we were able to reach out to a few families that don't regularly attend who were interested in having materials. And so I don't know how it went for them in their homes, but they were able to receive something anyway. As COVID cases went down and vaccines rolled out, we saw Bible studies start up again. The women's Bible study started up in the spring. The students studied the New Testament. Women's Bible study started a study about God's faithfulness. Then over the summer, the Salem youth participated in neighborhood kickball games once a week. Friends and children from the neighborhood were invited to Murphy Park for kickball, and we had a lot of dusty hot fun. So then, fast forward to September 12th, 2021, the first day of Sunday school for the year, and we currently have 3 Sunday school classes, what we call the younger elementary, the older elementary, and then adults. Students are working their way through the books of the Old Testament, and adults are visiting some ethical issues. I say we, but also myself, are so thankful for willing and able volunteers. And the kids are thankful too. So for those of you who teach Sunday school and who step up and who show up, that is just incredible. We thank you for that. Confirmation class is also going on. It kicked off in September with Adam Jacobson learning via videos that Pastor Ty creates. So he's still able to learn and be a part of that. So next week, we will do shoebox packing, and the week after that, we will have our trunk or treat event. Sunday school offerings from the winter will go to Lutheran Brother Missionaries in Taiwan, and the fall offerings will go towards shipping for Operation Christmas Child. So thank you to all who support that. And if you ever want to support financially and don't know how, you could write Sunday school specifically in the memo if you are wanting to give that way. If you turn and look at the Board of Education financial report on the next page, it just shows you kind of what we end up spending our money on. If you give towards Operation Christmas Child, we just keep the tally here, and Marv helps me out with that. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can let me know.
Library, go ahead.
Okay, I actually don't need that. So it's all written there if you want to know the nitty gritty of what we did with our limited monetary supply.
Hello? Sorry.
Okay, so basically it's just wanted to be put out there that we did spend money on one thing that year, and we bought a trilogy of books mainly for it's geared toward the younger generation, but it is a good series for all ages. It's allegory based. So if you like something on the order of the Chronicles of Narnia or Pilgrim's Progress, it is something interesting to read, and we do recommend that once we find the first book again. If you've seen it, please let us know. It's called Tales of the Kingdom. It's floating around somewhere. Anyway, besides that, the way we've been checking out books, just as a refresher and encouragement and a hint, is you go into the library, you find a book, you write your name in the card that's in the book, and you put it in the little wooden box. And that's for all of you. Anyway, and that's about it. Any questions you can ask anytime.
Brenda is in Texas now, enjoying some time with her two sisters, so she asked if I would give the WMF report. And it's kind of fun for me because I'm not here in the winter, so I get to review what happens when I'm gone. This year's theme was encouragement, and the verse was 1 Thessalonians 5:11. Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. And some of the highlights this year was the Trunk or Treat event last year was very successful, considering they couldn't serve food or people couldn't be inside. It was everything was done out of the trunks of car. And Pastor Ty and Sheila handed out juice boxes and hot cider. Then the Valentine breads and muffins were distributed to various members of the church on Sunday, February 14th. The Cup of Blessing during the months of February and March collected $286, and the proceeds go to the women's ministries of the Church of the Lutheran Brethren. Pastor Ty's ordination took place on Sunday, March 7th. The WMF was asked by the Elder Board to coordinate a light luncheon, a cake, decorating of the fellowship hall, a photographer, and flowers for Pastor, his family, and special guests. And then Cookie Fellowship resumed the last Sunday of June. And it was decided that Shirley's team would serve the even months and Alice's team the odd months. And instead of being in the narthex, it's held downstairs now. Saturday, May 8th, the church cleanup day was held, and various members participated in cleaning up the yard, flower beds on the south side of the church, and cleaning out the kitchen cupboards. It was decided this past year that due to COVID, the mother-daughter event would not be held. And the annual rummage sale and bake sale that occurred June 23rd through 25th, members provided numerous items and baked goods to sell, and we raised $1,105.10. And then no meetings have been held this summer. And this was respectfully submitted by Brenda Simonson.
Okay. I find Operation Christmas Child opportunity to minister and reach people throughout our world. And the past year, the total after 12 years, we've sent boxes to 1,678 children. And that's a good prayer list for us. Elaine Miller over at Grand Village has commented, she says when she goes to bed at night, she says, I always remember to pray for the kids. And she also said, sometimes I fall asleep in bed. But I just see that as a ministry. It's an extension of our Sunday school. And this year has been also a different year compared to 2 years ago. But we're just anticipating that we will pack the boxes that are needed. Next Sunday, we'll be doing it at 9 o'clock. I'm also going to go to some of the different couples or people's homes to help them. And thank you for the donations and things that you've given. I was going to make a comment, the places that our shoeboxes have gone to, and it's included India, South Africa, Madagascar, Rwanda, which is one of the countries, this was like 3 years ago. There was such a genocide in that country. And we did hear back from people that had received boxes. Also Kenya, and this past year was Colombia, South America. And this year is probably the most that we have heard. If we write notes, and it's always good to write a letter or a little note to a child, very personal, saying, I'm packing this box for you, special, and praying that God is going to bless you and be near you and protect you, and put things in there that you would think they would probably enjoy. Stuffed animals are a wow gift, soccer balls. And then if you put the email address on the back, you may hear. And so this year I think we heard from 16. And there is a 3-ring binder out somewhere. Oh, okay. that shows some of the letters that have been received, and some are in Spanish, which I still need to get translated. But one of them even comments, it's got the name of Fern Johnson on it. It's all in Spanish, but it's Fern's name is there. And she and Elaine used to say, "Oh, I'd like to hear from somebody." And then we've heard from others. One interesting letter in there was, it must be a young pastor and his wife, and their little girl got a box, and she said she loved the shoes and the teddy bear. And then another one is just real brief. It just says, "Thank you. My little boy is real happy about getting this box," and he must be probably a 2 to 4-year-old. But I find it very, for myself, and I would hope there's all kinds of passions for missions within the church, and this is one I have a passion for. And so we'll just continue praying that God's going to bless. We'll see this year how many boxes get packed. Thank you.
All right, so that was all the reports. Well, let's just say this. Do I have a motion to accept the ministry reports? We're just going to do them all together as one. Okay, so moved. Do I have a second? Shirley, thank you. Okay, any discussion or additional questions, concerns that came up with any of those reports?
I was gonna ask Mary, are you not doing it at Grand Village anymore, the shoe boxes?
We anticipate in the future. Right now, it hasn't quite worked out.
Yeah.
Last year, I did some just online on the phone, and I had mentioned that to Elaine and confirmed that I could maybe just do it that way, because I think they're still pretty cautious about COVID.
Yeah, Grand Village has been off the table, unfortunately, but they are, just kind of hoping, as we all are with COVID, is just that it will pass eventually and can get back to the way it was. All right, then we'll say that those ministry reports are accepted. So now I'm going to hand it over to Harold.
Before Harold speaks, could I ask a question? There was a whole line of discussion there that left some of us are hardly hearing Alan. And I didn't understand. Harold asked the question, are the shoebox gonna be open? What was that all about? I couldn't understand it.
Well, there's several ways we packed the shoe boxes.
Speak loud, Harold.
Mary employs several different means of packing the suit. Okay, hear me now, Roy?
No, you're not doing very well, but go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, Mary uses several means to get the shoe boxes packed. One of them was the group at Grand Village has been very supportive of it, and she, once a month or so, Mary, that you went over there?
Yes.
And but last year, because of COVID, we missed a lot of those things. So next Sunday morning, you're invited to come here and pack shoe boxes downstairs. And anyway, there's been a great growth in that business over the years, as you can see in the report. So anyway, Mary mentioned Elaine Miller, and just as an aside here, this past week, we got a call early in the morning, I think on Wednesday, and Fern Johnson was taken into ER and with COVID. She tested positive with COVID, but she was brought back to Grand Village that same afternoon, but she's in a quarantine unit now where they keep COVID. There's a few COVID cases at Grand Village right now. Another thing about Elaine Miller, she is such a faithful lady. Cheryl and I see them quite often, and she always says, "I don't know why he doesn't take me. I'm ready, and I don't know why he just doesn't take me." In our men's Bible study one morning, we were studying about Elijah, and I think it went something like the Lord. He ascended directly to heaven, because the Lord felt he was had accomplished what he needed to accomplish on earth, as did Jesus. So those two were in heaven. And so I took that over to the nursing home, and I told Elaine, I said, I finally figured out why he hasn't taken you. He's not done with you yet. And she is a real saint. She said, oh, yeah, Fern and I pray for people here every day. We talk about Jesus to everybody we can. So, great lady. Anyway, my real purpose here is to present the nominating report, and I would first like to say thank you to Leon and Lana Jacobson for being the nominee. Pardon me? You said Leon, Darwin and Lana. I'm sorry. Oh, I had Leon on mine too, because I was going to thank him for his work, but he skipped out on us already. Anyway, Darwin and Lana have been a nominating committee for a couple of years now, and if you look at that nominating committee report, I'm going to rearrange it just a little bit. The first one on there is elder candidate, and what happens, elders can only be appointed by elders. It's not a position that like the rest of the nominees are, asked if they'd serve. But if there's anyone that wishes to be an elder, in fact, right now, there's an open position. Marvin, who wore many hats, and I don't blame him for stepping down, because as treasurer, he is also a trustee, and he was also an elder. But we do miss you, Marv. So there is an open position. Each year, there's an affirmation of an elder, and this year is my year, so I'm going to step out at the end of my comments here, and you can make a decision whether you want this old geezer or not. It won't bother me anyway. So I think somebody asked the question, how many elders are there? Right now there is a pastor is the chairman of the elder group, and it's myself, and then we got one migratory elder. I don't see him here now. He migrated already. Anyway, and that's Everett. So over the winter months, there's just pastor and I, and our church is made up of the elder board and the trustee board, and we meet separately, and then once a month we have what we call the joint board meeting, where both groups come together. So at the end of my comments here, I'll step out and you guys can make a decision. There are several open positions, as you can see on the report. Leon has stepped down. I think his term was up this year, 2021. So for the open positions, I would just like to ask for nominations from the floor. And if there's someone here you think would be a good candidate but was unable to attend, if you could bring them to the attention of Pastor or myself. So we're looking for a trustee. A secretary, Diane, has served faithfully for a number of years, and she would like to give the opportunity to anyone else who would like to be secretary use this opportunity to step forward. Down the list here, an assistant organist. If there's anyone that would like to serve in that role, please speak up. I got a note about the music committee. I guess it's been decided.
You are really not, you kind of got to speak a little louder. I'm sorry, but
Okay. You should move.
I can't hear it. I suspect others can't.
Okay. The music committee is disbanding. We've kind of changed our direction a little bit, and we've got the praise band now, and Betty Jones here has volunteered to say that she would serve as a choir leader if we would like to form a choir. So anyway, I guess right now I would like to just see a show of hands of anyone that would like to be a member of the choir. Oh, that's a nice representation. Is that enough, Betty? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can you make music with 8 people? Okay. Okay, well, look forward to that happening soon. So I guess the other thing I was going to ask is, do you wish to move forward with these nominees by a show of hands, or would you prefer to have a private ballot? Show of hands? Okay. Anyone wishing to step forward as a nominee, as a trustee?
I would like to ask, what was I'm just having a hard time hearing what you're saying. Are you asking us to vote either by hand or by ballot? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, and the suggestion was made by a show of hands.
What if I ask for a ballot? What happens then?
We'll have to run to the back office and get some paper ballots. We will have to run back to the office and get some paper ballots. We've done it that way in the past.
I really think it's a lot, particularly when we get to high positions such as trustees and elders, that it be done in a very private manner. Because I don't think that should be something that's just flippant and just the raising of hands.
Okay.
I think those are very important positions, and they should be considered by a vote of a ballot, so that people can really vote their conscience and not feel that they got to vote for the most popular person. It just seems to me that these positions are going to be voted on in a very, very private way, because they are very high and important positions, and they need to be prayed about.
So are you suggesting that each of the nominees down the list here?
No, he's just saying trustee and elder.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I mean, I think that's fair. We probably don't need to take a trustee or elder nomination right now. You could probably do a nomination request for the secretary, or in the choir, which we did, but maybe the trustee can be something that comes later.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we don't have any right now to vote on, except the secretary. Do I see a show of hands from anyone that would like to serve as our joint board secretary? Takes minutes at the joint board meeting, takes minutes at the annual meeting. Anybody? Diana has done a wonderful job.
Is Diane absolutely refusing to serve again?
I would if no one else wants.
She said she would if no one else comes forward.
Everybody keep quiet. I think she does a marvelous job.
Mhm.
It's got to be for somebody that feels it's a ministry, because it's a difficult job, and it's a very important job. So I'd be careful who we put into that position.
Okay, hearing that, Diane? Okay. So you can fill that slot with Diane. Thank you, Diane. The other one down below is assistant organist. I don't know, have we ever had an assistant organist?
Years ago, when people were still playing the
Who are you pointing at? Sheila?
I said play, very loosely interpreted word. But she knows how to play. She's probably the only other person in the church.
Domine, would you like to have your name entered in that position?
So, as long as Mary would help me become assistant
Was that a yes? Yes? Okay, we can put Domine's name down there as assistant organist. And we talked about the music committee. So I think we got as good a slate of candidates for those positions. The elder candidate thing, Pastor will handle the affirmation in just a minute. I see that Beth has got some paper ballots. So we'll use paper ballots for the elder vote and show of hands for the rest of them?
Yeah.
Or you want them all? Pardon me? You want paper ballots?
You want paper ballots for all these other, everything?
Oh, no.
Just for the
I'm
elder? Just
concerned
for the-
about the two,
Yeah, we'll do it for the elder.
elder,
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Just do a hands for everybody else, for Diane.
Okay.
Tony.
Okay, any questions on the nominees that we've talked about? Hearing none, let's have a show of hands for a vote, unanimous vote. Roy's not voting.
I can't hear you. You can't me to hear you.
Okay. All right, I think that we have a unanimous vote for the nominees, and I'll turn it over to Pastor to handle the elder candidate. And have you got ballots back there you can pass out?
You want this? You want this? Okay, you can hand them out. Yeah. Just a piece of paper. Perfect. All right, so Harold is going to step out. Harold has been an elder long time. I don't know how long he's been an elder. I have appreciated his service as an elder, as the pastor. He's one of the reasons why I came here. And so anyway, on your piece of paper, I guess you just write either yes or no. Is that fair? Yes for Harold to remain? Yes for affirming Harold as an elder candidate, or no if not? And then just write yes or no, and then we'll collect them again. And so at this time, we can also open it up for discussion. Anything you would like to share pro or con regarding Harold.
They went outside. You can hear you guys. They went outside.
Okay, you ready, bud?
Just a second.
Okay.
This is a yes or no one? Yeah, I guess. Who do I hand it to?
Here comes.
This ain't gonna change much, but that's all right.
Yep. No, I'm good. Okay. I didn't miss anybody, did I? All right, well, it was,
Elder, up or down?
yes,
No, right?
yes.
Yes means.
So we had, you can go get him, yeah. It was unanimous yes for Elder, for Harold, so thank you for everyone who voted. That was, that makes it easy for us, right? So, thank you, Harold. Again, yes, he's been, we've appreciated his service, and as long as he's willing and able to do that, we'll take him. So, We just wish he would talk louder in the microphone. That's our one complaint, right? Usually talking is not his problem, which is funny. So yeah, we'll be down. He wandered off. Oh my goodness. Yeah, maybe he wants to get out of here. So the trustee and both elder and trustee positions can be filled at any time. We can call a congregational meeting any time in the year and do that. We've done that before after church services. And so one of the other things we can be praying for is a new members class, which I am hoping, and like I said in church today, to offer shortly in the next few weeks. And whenever we get enough people that have taken that class and have been interviewed by the elders, then we accept them as members, and we have a brief ceremony during one of our church services. But before we get to that point, we would need a vote from the congregation, from the members, to accept them, and so that would require another congregational meeting. All that to say is we can call another meeting quickly to take a vote at any point later on. So we can survive with just 2 trustees and with just 2 elders. There's nothing that says you have to have 3. Or any. So it's just we trust the Lord's timing in this, and we believe that we'll get them in when the time is right and when the person is ready. So okay. So with that, did Harold? Yeah, Harold. Hey, way to go, bud! You made it. You got thumbs up.
He was downstairs watching it right now.
Yep. So thank you. Thank you to everybody who served, by the way, too. Those of you who remain in your positions, continuing to serve. We appreciate all of you guys who are doing these things for our church and for the Lord. Okay, so the last thing here is just listed as other business. This is really just a chance if anybody has something that we haven't discussed yet that's on your mind that you wanted to at least bring up and could be a topic of discussion at least now, or it could be for the future as well, but open floor.
Just one item that I think the insurance company wants us to address is that door is healing on that side of the church.
Yep.
And now, I understand we can't get the city to, well, maybe we should get to, but I think the main thing, we can get a door that goes up.
Yep.
Security.
Yep.
And then if we can, we can make a railing on that step, that would help. I don't know that, I understand Carl said that he didn't think the city would go along with it, but I think maybe if we just did that and said this is all we can accomplish, and the insurance company's going to make too much of an issue of it, then maybe we'll just have to get a different insurance company. I do think it'd be good to have that door be very safe.
Right.
And Harold, we need to have a meeting to take a look at it.
Now, that letter you gave me, did they require that to continue their insurance, or?
No, they're not, but the thing is, they want it done, so I don't know if they're gonna.
Yeah, we
Yep.
planned to have a work day yet this fall. I asked Leon and Carl to get together and select a
Yep.
day. I talked to Leon today about this step up, it's very steep, and I just wondered if we could put a redwood post right next to the concrete and rail down.
So we need to plan. We just need to plan a joint board meeting maybe soon, maybe sooner than what we had originally planned. Within the next week or two, we could maybe sit down and actually schedule a meeting, because that's an issue that the trustees should figure out and decide. Because this door needs to be changed out, basically, and insurance is asking us to put a railing out here as well, so hopefully that can be done soon, yep.
He did that side of the church, and that stayed. And I don't think it would be that expensive to do this side, because we got the area there. It is healing.
Okay, what side is that? What direction?
Should we schedule a meeting right now? Can we plan one? When do you want to do it? You want to do it after church on Sunday, like November, the first one in November? Can we do that? Can we just plan a trustee board meeting for the first Sunday of November after church?
I don't know, yeah, and the paint, if it gets cold real quick, then we may not be able to do the painting. We can try, we can still have a meeting.
You think that'd work, Harold, to just plan a joint board meeting November 7th or whatever it is? Okay. Yep, so then what, November next one? Or is it gonna be a problem? Well, you wanna do it next Sunday?
That's fine. And I talked to Leon that, to get a list of items that need to be done, and we'll post it on the board. And if you can't come on a work day that we designate, you can come anytime you have time to come. And take one of the Fridays off. So keep looking at the bulletin board, and hopefully we'll get a list of what we need to do. And, we'll have a board meeting right after church next Sunday then.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Yeah, thank you, Harold, Marv, whoever you are.
And I think we all agree that we appreciate you and Sheila and what you do.
Yep, thank you. All right, any other business comments, questions, concerns? You all want to go watch the Vikings game, I know. No.
Don't tell me that I gotta take it home. I don't wanna let-
Yeah,
I have one question. I see you started confirmation classes. Is it too late for the kids that are old enough to be started?
yes, you can talk to her about that. Yeah, we got you in mind. We got a plan. Yep,
Same Wednesdays off for sports.
sure. Okay. Yep, thanks, good question, Carla. Thank you for your concern. That's important. All right, with that, I'm just going to call it, do I have a motion to, well, I will make a motion to adjourn our meeting. Okay, we have Shirley make a motion, Carla has a second, and with that, we're done. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. Meeting adjourned, thank you guys for being here. We'll see you later. Well, that's not necessarily something we're going to announce on Sunday.
No, I wouldn't. I'm just working for you and I, information.
Yeah, many others are aware of that. Maybe not.
That's what I come here for. So you could confirm what I have. And if I get asked, and I have a second, or if I get asked, why are they, you know, we can say it's because I know serious and they don't have any. That's why I'm correct. That's all I want to
They are the
know.
ones that are watching here right now. Probably can't.
But the point is that
Well, they are. They've been involved even though they've been waiting. Friends with the mayor. A couple that's living I think we're going to have some new members soon. Yeah, I do think it's too late. Yeah, we had talked about it before, but just as the government started this way of doing it on Twitter.
First one was about that. It's tribal Saturday night. Tribal paint.